Hi there, my name is Kendrick, and today I get to interview Laith. So, Laith, welcome, man.
Hey guys, what's going on? So we're gonna do this meeting today, and yeah,
Yeah,
so
looking forward to chatting with you. Can you let us everyone know your full type?
I'm an ESTP. So my OPS type now is double masculine, SETI, consume, play, blast, sleep, last, social type one.
Gotcha. That's gonna be the intense one. I'm gonna save the social one for the end because that's like the big one, I think. Let's
Yeah,
start with the easy stuff first. Let's start with your animals. SETI, consume. That's your first animal.
yeah.
How do you experience that, dude?
I do a lot of consume, and especially in like fields of like bodybuilding or things in like education or health. So most of my time is literally just doing researching. So I had no idea I was an ESTP. I thought I was more of like a nerd type. I thought I was elite TI or something. So it came as a shock. TI, feminine, introverted. I'm not usually very like pushy with it. So the facts can change. It's not very aggressive. Um, so yeah, definitely consume. I saw that. I on the Google Doc on my type. I definitely put that as like my first animal. Definitely saw that.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense why you thought you were lead NT because you are NT sleep. Like inside, you are NT. So it makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's a very space brain type of NT because it's double feminine.
Right, right. We'll talk about that later. That is also very,
Yeah, we gotta.
yeah,
Yeah,
we'll work our way there, dude. We'll work our way there. So part of ST consume is also external self-awareness and kind of like the image that you portray to the tribe. Now, because your consume is ST, ST is correlated with competence. So do you like to show that as an external image that you are a very competent person, like you are a doer, you get shit done, and you know what you're doing?
yeah. Try to do that. Yeah, but I think it's even stronger with the people who have like the masculine TI. But for me, it's more like I'm just taking in information in the classroom, and I offer suggestions. Like we looked at a heart study yesterday in class, and I tried to diagnose someone, and like the students like, did you just try and diagnose me? So I tried to, but it backfires because I'm not a blockhead.
Yeah, yeah. I guess the feminine TI makes it a little bit softer than the
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
uh second animal, dude. This is a huge one. Double masculine SF play.
Yeah,
It's an ironic one too because you're number one, and play activates social type 4. So I guess you would be an aggressive, friendly person, but no friends would be an issue. Can you talk about that a little bit?
yeah. My whole life I've had problems with friends. That's why I thought I was a decider. Um, but yeah, because what the play wants to do is it wants to ask a lot of questions. But Dave said in one of the videos that when you ask questions, your social status goes down. So I want to do the play, but it kind of makes you the annoying kid who's asking questions. So you kind of get dropped down a little. So it's like you're kind of forced into figuring it out for yourself. But the double masculine play is definitely there. I mean, when I had friends growing up, I mean, I was very aggressive with them. I thought I was being playful. Like I tried setting one of them on fire, but you know,
That is fucked, man.
uh,
Uh,
even my parents, they were because I was a pyromaniac growing up. I enjoyed just setting things on fire. So my parents were worried I was going to burn down the house.
yeah, I can see with your red shirt that you're wearing right now. That's
Oh yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I can relate to what you're saying. I was also a pyromaniac as a kid. I used to burn sacks of rice and bring them inside the house and stuff. So I totally get it. um, okay, cool, dude. That's interesting too. The point that you said about when you ask questions, you lose status. It's kind of an ironic thing because you lose status in the short term, but in the long term, you gain knowledge, which will make you more powerful. So whatever you
that's
lose in
true.
the short term, you gain in the long term, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, I don't think there's anything wrong with humility, and there's nothing wrong with being a student. I think these are all good things. So I think if you let the ego get in the way, you're actually gonna hinder your growth in terms of being smarter, you know? So uh, yeah,
yeah.
but I can see how
Oh,
that would prevent you from asking questions.
no, because with my ST, I ask the most obvious, silly questions. It's just everyone's in class like it's so obvious. It's like you don't have to connect the dots that far to get the answer. So that's why I feel like, damn, I don't want to bother the class. I'll just have to figure it out.
Yeah. It's a little bit slow though if you try to figure it yourself versus to just ask someone, you know. So
Yeah, tell me about it. That's just it's the worst. It feels like I'm learning in slow motion. But when I'm speaking with someone, I'm a ping back guy. I mentioned that in my video typing where I'm not good at making my own like narrow monologue, but if someone says something and it reminds me of it, I connect it. So
Right.
it works way better when someone's speaking.
Yeah, that makes sense. Double activated play after all, so that's a superpower. Double masculine also. So yeah, you definitely need to be abusing that for sure. Yeah, 100%. What about the SF flavor of that SF play? Like, how are you with the SF? Like the cool, popular aspect of that?
Yeah, in high school I was actually NT peacocking, so everyone knew me as a nerd actually. So everybody,
Oh,
so but definitely I try to do things in the most cool way. Like I want to say, like, what's the most coolest way to do something? I'll do that. I, I'm trying to look at the spectrum, and I even mentioned in the video that loser talk. You say, "Oh, loser, winner." Like you have a look at the spectrum of what's seen as cool in in the tribe's perspective. So definitely SF is it SF play? Yeah,
I see. I guess you are scanning the spectrum of coolness. In
yeah.
it, yeah. What about your third animal? So this one's interesting. It's NF Blast. Okay, so it's a little bit woo-woo, but you have it activated, so it's not missing. Um, do you believe in the NF? Do you believe in some of the more spiritual stuff, the more intangible, emotional value stuff? I mean, you have it third activated, so I don't know. What's your perspective on that?
Oh, it was very weird. A couple of days ago, I thought about something like that. I was thinking about how everything in the universe converges to an end.
Yeah,
Like even black holes die, but then new ones are created. It's very very weird. I even thought like that's how even SC works at NI. It's like everything converges and everything narrows down into one thing, and that's how the entire universe works almost.
right.
It's a very weird, and especially because it's like feminine NI. It's like it's a very intangible. It's very wooshy kind of. You can't really put your finger down on it.
Right, right. But the FE is masculine, so you're pushy when you're pushing this out, but you're soft at the actual concept of it.
Yeah, even like blasting is pretty much like teaching. So I remember even I had a class presentation a couple of days ago, and it was the most anxious thing ever. I can't really speak in front of a crowd. Also, I thought I was a decider, but it's because when you're blasting, you're speaking at people. You're not taking any information. It doesn't feel very natural. It feels very forced. So,
Right.
after the presentation, I said, "All right, we're open to questions. Anybody have any questions?" And instantly, I felt my anxiety go from here to here because like now I'm my play energy like shoot me some questions my way, I'll answer them. So I definitely felt that my heart rate go down as well.
Oh, that's interesting. Definitely interesting. I guess because your play is double masculine, that's a point of confidence, but the blast is half feminine, so it's kind of like you're half unsure of yourself, to an extent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, I noticed that. Yeah.
Part of NF Blast is also I did an interview with an INFJ woman. She said that when you're giving an NIFE blast to someone, you are essentially uh helping them grow in a more character development way. But long term, in terms of like 40 years from now, they'll remember what you said to them and it'll click and it's like deep wisdom and it'll improve that person, but you'll never see the fruits of your labor of your advice because it's so far into the future because it's NI, right? It's future,
Yeah.
and it's values because it's FE, right? Um, have you given anyone any advice from that perspective where you just thought, hey, you know what, this is a good advice to give this person, an NF blast advice to motivate them, to encourage them, to make them feel like they are more than who they are. They can be someone more powerful if they wanted to be. They should have the courage to pursue their dreams. Have you ever given like those motivational kind of speech to someone?
Yeah. When I got into bodybuilding, I definitely got that. I gave that advice to people. I would give them like the you 5 years from now will terrify you now because you become what you're terrified of, or
That's a good
something
one,
like
actually. I like that one.
yeah, you have to become your demons almost. Or what the other one was what was it? It was something to do with build an immunity to it. Build an immunity to your problem so that in your future you're bulletproof to it. So your 40% now is your 20% in 10 years from now. So something like that. Your best days now will be your worst days 10 years from now. So like intangible, but you can definitely see
I like though. This is a good NF Blast stuff, man. This is some good shit. Did you make this up or
it.
did you steal it from someone else?
I do that to myself even when I'm in the gym. I tell myself when I'm in the gym, like and I'm struggling with the weight halfway through. I'm doing squats to tell myself you've only 40% there. So you're telling yourself you still got 100, 60% there. Go for it.
Yeah, that's sweet, man. You're
Almost
using
like a coach.
yeah. Well, it's cool that you're using it on yourself. It's working on yourself too. So, um, do you follow the UFC and do you know who Conor McGregor is?
I know who Conor McGregor is, but I don't follow the fight. I don't watch it.
Oh, okay, okay. So you know
I
Conor
don't.
McGregor. So, I don't know if you know his backstory, but so he's an ISTP, but he was recently retyped as consume, play, blast, sleep, like same animals as you, except and also
Yeah,
social life number one. So almost like you, except an
just insane.
ISTP. Yeah,
Yeah.
except ISTP. And basically the thing that got him to become the first ever double champ in UFC, like the first ever to hold two belts at the same time, because no one was doing it before he did. He started this trend, right? And then he's like the richest UFC fighter of all time, right? Like he's a multimillionaire now. Was actually NF. He said that when he was younger, his sister told him about the secret, and he's like, "What is this secret bullshit? You're gonna manifest something? Shut the fuck up!" Right? That's what he was saying, right?
Oh, I do that all the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. I
But
can't
then
stand it. Manifesting. Yeah.
yeah, so at first he thought it was bullshit, but then later on he did like a second look. He's like, wait a minute, maybe there's something into this NF woo-woo shit, this secret shit. And then he started manifesting like a dream of him being like the double champ. And then I think that's literally what got him to become the double champ, the first one ever. The NF, right? Because a lot of lead ST, they don't believe in NF, so they're stuck. They don't progress as far because you need the NF dream to break through reality, right? Because ST is reality, but NF is not reality. But what if you expand
Mm.
reality? You know what I mean? So he did
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like no one thought you could do it. No one thought you could be a double champ two belt, and he proved them wrong. Now everyone can do it. It's kind of like I don't know if you heard of like the is it the 5 minute mile run? Someone ran like is it 1 mile in 5 minutes, and no one thought you could do it, and until someone did it, now everyone could do it, right? So that's like
Yeah, yeah.
that's what NF is. So do you believe in the NF? This is my first question to you, and the second part is like, have you are you using it on yourself to make something that's ST not real, actually maybe it can be real.
Yeah, I try to do that with the gym, but a lot of the time when I do see people say, "Oh, manifesting in your galactic self," I kind of cringe. I cringe
Right.
really hard. I'm like,
Fair enough.
how do you get your galactic self? Where does that even come from?
Yeah.
Or the people talk about the like your higher self. I kind of cringe a little bit, but I see where they're coming from. But I almost I have to detach my saviors from it. It's like, yeah, I can see that. Okay, they're doing that, but that like I work on AA batteries. They work on AAA batteries. That doesn't connect. So I try to use it in the gym. I try to ground it a little bit more. Like, okay, if I hit this squat and I do 20 reps to this, yeah, I'll set myself up really good for the future. Something like that.
Isn't there in the previous Olympics there was something that they said that couldn't be done, but like this Chinese guy did it, and the Australian people are upset at him. Is that am I right in the Paris Olympics?
I
Um,
think so. I'm not really following those things.
Yeah, I just remember there was something. Maybe I'm getting it wrong. I think it was like the Australian guy was upset that this Chinese guy. The Chinese guy won first place, and then he swam super fast and he broke some world record or something. And Michael Phelps is saying he's bullshit is impossible because Michael Phelps is also an ESTP, right? So he's like, oh, that's ST,
Yeah.
that's not compute, right? Like it does not compute. This should not be possible. But this like Chinese dude did it.
Yeah.
This Chinese dude did it, and they did so much testing on him. He was legit. He's not doping. So it's like, oh, it's like breaking the ST, right? So I feel like that's kind of like what NF is. It's like, Wim Hof, the ISF.
Yeah, yeah. I actually thought I was this type. I wrote it on the doc.
Yeah, like the stuff he's
So funny.
doing. No one like ST wise, people didn't think, hey, this shouldn't work. But he's lead NF, right? He's the NF sleep. And he's doing all this stuff like holding his breath for a long time, surviving in like hyperthermic weather, and he proved them all wrong through his like breathing technique, right? And then it's like the scientists like this is not computing, this should not be possible, so that I feel like that's what NF is. Like if you have ST and NF together, um
It works really well.
you could make something into reality that's not supposed to be in reality, like so yeah. Anyways, it was good to hear your perspective on that. I feel like you believe some aspect of it. You're not completely like uh
Yeah, yeah.
turning away. You're not like saying it's complete BS. It's like there's part that makes you cringe, but like there's parts of it that like I think there's more to this if I investigated.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, dude, last animal. Anti-sleep, double feminine. Um, let's go over some different aspects of it, okay? I want to go for the first one here. NITI, what is your reoccurring pattern that is true about you? Have you given this any thought?
Oh my God. This is a really hard question. Well, I do know that I struggle with sleep my whole life. I'm a very light sleeper. Like just today, I woke up at 1 in the morning. I couldn't go back to bed.
Right.
Um, Reoccurring things that happen, I don't check up on my health. I really don't. I just go full on and then I crash really hard. Like I got sick just now. In fact, this yesterday. So
Yeah.
definitely not taking care of my health, and I have to go through my problems 1,000 times just to even be aware of it. It's a nightmare. I mean, even like with my car, my dad said, "Hey, your car's low on fuel. Please, can you refuel it?" I said, "Yeah, I'll do it later. I'll do it later." I did that for 3 weeks, and then my car just ran out of fuel in the middle of the highway, and I had to push it.
Right.
So it was
That's funny, man.
that's what sleep loss is doing, because you just ignoring your energy, ignoring everything, and then you just crash. Like, all right, you can't move. You you pretty much you have to pay attention to the signs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
you know,
similar type
you're
to Andrew Huberman, eh? Similar type to him.
yeah, he's the audio version. Yeah.
Yeah. And they showed a video of him coughing nonstop during an interview because he sleep lost and he has like all these health issues. And he knows how to
Yeah.
take care of health because he's a scientist, but then he doesn't do it himself because he's sleep lost.
I went to a cardiologist the other day, and he said you shouldn't be eating heavy meals at night because I'm very busy throughout the day, and I'll
Yeah.
have like 3 meals at one at nighttime, and I won't be able to sleep. So that
Yeah.
same day, even though I know it's true, even though I know like you shouldn't do that.
Oh,
Wait, did
before
it cut off? I think. Yeah,
are we
yeah,
back?
yeah. We're back.
Okay, sweet. I did hear what you said, so that's cool. So okay, so you know, so the cool thing about this conversation is even though you have feminine sleep, double feminine sleep, you're actually aware what's going on, but you're not doing anything about it. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, I frame it. I'm not animalistically accepting it. I'm not double masculine animalistically saying this is what's happening. This is certain. It's just like it's gonna. It might happen, but the result's always the same.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's the NF, it's
It's
a recurring pattern about you. Like it's true, and it's also true, you know? And
Yeah,
yeah,
like literally, as I'm eating the heavy meals at night, I'm like, I know tomorrow this is gonna happen, but I don't know why I'm still doing this, but I'm just gonna do it. It's just I know it's gonna happen tomorrow, but I still do it.
yeah. Oh, I see what's going on. So it sounds like you eat the heavy meal at night, you have bad sleep, then you have trouble waking up in the morning, and then
Yeah,
but then you don't eat the big meal in the morning because you're in a rush because you're late for everything now. And then
like yeah, I have to be there at 8.
yeah, late is late.
I have
Just
to be in
because
class at 8. It's so bad, man. I can't.
so there's the cycle is there. So the cycle is actually the poor sleep. The poor sleep is causing this chain of events from happening.
Yeah, and because it's double feminine, I'm a very light sleeper. Like even physically, like when I'm going to bed. I'm not a deep sleeper at all. The smallest things can wake me up. If I'm just slightly too cold, I'll be up the whole night. If I'm just, it's very weird. Like almost maybe the double masculine sleeps, they're intense. Maybe they get like a very deep sleepers or something like that. Maybe that's a pattern.
Well, I'm sleep lost like
Because
you,
you,
so I have sleep issues also, and it's double masculine. But I couldn't fix my sleep issue until I went to a sleep clinic, and then they fixed it now. I can sleep now, but I had to go to a sleep clinic. So I think a lot of sleep lost people have to go to a sleep clinic and get diagnosed for sleep apnea, and then um you have to sleep with I mean it's either
the
obstructive,
wise.
yeah, the hose or you have to do a surgery or something. So if it's obstructive, right? So
Yeah, I think it's more mental because I did the sleep study twice, and they're like, "No, you're fine. You're not stopping breathing." It's more the internal monologue as well, because I don't have an internal monologue throughout the entire day, or it's very minute. So it's like I don't pay attention to it. So then when it's time to go to bed, when I'm not listening to music 24/7, or I'm
yeah.
not consuming 24/7, this internal monologue just comes on, and when I'm asleep, I'm having a conversation with myself. It comes out at night, and then like, okay, what the hell do I do with this? I'm trying to shut it off. It won't shut off.
Oh, I see what's going on. Yeah, I can relate. Because I have SF sleep, right? So it's a little bit different from you. But like before, what happens to me is like I spent the whole day the living the sleep last life, go, 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 without stopping to reflect or think, right? Uh, but just because you did that doesn't mean you're not gonna have to do that later on. So at night, that's when like everything hits me and I'm like, oh shit, I have to process all my emotions now. But for you, it's your TI, right? So then at night, it's like, oh, you went crazy the whole day. Now it's at night. Guess what? Now you have to process all your thoughts, you know?
Yes, yes. What the hell did you do today? Oh, man, I should have done it this way. Oh man, like if I had done it, it's like that.
Yeah, yeah. And
And,
now
and
you
it's an
keep figuring it out.
unsettledness.
Sorry?
Yeah, I described it as like an unsettledness. You're terrified of reaching a conclusion about self. That's how I described it.
Yeah. Okay. But you have to. You have to. So that's why
Pretty much.
you can't sleep because your brain's telling you, hey, dude, you gotta do this. You know? Yeah, you're trying
Yeah,
to shut up, but you can't because you have to do it, you know? So
yeah,
okay, okay.
yeah, definitely.
That's that's annoying. So what have you NT figured out that you need to do to stop to break this pattern? This NITI bad pattern that you have right now.
All right, think about it. I did speak to Shan about this.
Yeah,
She said you gotta have to have an error log. You have to have like a journal, physically put it in reality. Because
yeah,
like if it's for double family, your save as an ST. Put it in physical reality and write out like what is reoccurring. Pretty much bad sleep, um, poor eating times, eating irregularly, exercising at the wrong times. Like you shouldn't exercise past 6:30, which I exercise at night. By the way, I have to exercise at a gym that closes at 10 because if I exercise I go to the gym at 7, it forces a deadline on me. So I can't go to a 24-hour gym because then it's like, oh, I have all the time in the world.
right.
So I have to go to the gym that closes. So like, okay, I got to rush this. I'm forced to finish the workout or I have to have a deadline forced on me, otherwise I don't do the work.
You know what's even more interesting about you is you're an EP, I'm an EP, so the thing that we both share is we both want freedom, but it sounds like you're a prisoner to this horrible pattern that you got yourself stuck in. Like
Yeah, definitely.
you lost your freedom completely, dude. Like how do you feel about
Pretty much. Oh, definitely. I lost my freedom many times because I've had to change countries 3 times in my lifetime, and I definitely noticed that I've had a pretty much I've screwed over my life so many times at this point that it's like okay, it's me, it's me. Because
yeah,
like I changed schools 6 times, and I changed like states different times in different countries. I've like every time I'd have like a problem with the tribe, like it's them, they were idiots, and I was an idiot. It's just the culture or whatever, the FE culture. And then I'd change countries. Like, yeah, I'd change countries again. The same thing would happen. So it took it 6 times over to go. Wait, maybe it's me.
right.
Whereas a person who's lead sleep would go like first time, first error or first time he screwed over, it's me. So he'd know it's him first time around, not 6 times.
Right. I
So
feel like you
I've been
that though. I feel like as a sleep last like this it's normal. Like I can relate to what you said. Like I make the same mistake over and over again also. So for sure. Um which countries did you move from? You said you moved to 3 different countries?
oh no, I moved countries 3 times, but I changed countries like 2 different countries. So I was born in the UAE. I was born in the Emirates, and then I
Oh,
came to Australia for the first time in 2010, and then we went back to the UAE Emirates in 2015,
yeah.
and then we're back here in 2018. So we're just back and forth.
Do you see yourself as more Australian or more UAE?
Australian because I've lived most of my life here. I've spent 7 years there, 13 years of my life here. So I'm definitely most of my life here.
You're an Aussie then. Gotcha.
Yeah,
All right.
but
Um
because I was made fun. Oh, sorry. You go ahead.
go ahead, go ahead.
I was made fun of my accent a lot because like when I go there, my accent would change, but when I'd come here, my accent would change. So it was like the whole back and forth.
Yeah, but you're technically both though, you just have to accept both parts are you, right? So
Yeah,
um yeah, which is true. That's TI true too, right? Because it is true. You are Australian and you are UAE. So um, you know.
yeah.
All right. So now that we covered your animals, I mean there's a lot to dig with your sleep last issue too. That's kind of really interesting. But I want to talk about your socials because that's also super interesting. Let's talk about you being a number one, man. Like what's that like? Like having like
Oh,
I drive, but super demon friends. Well, can you share what that's like?
yeah. demon friends, man. That's a kick in the balls. I mean, my whole life, I would leave friends for the smallest thing. Like I think the start of last year or even the beginning of this year, I left a friend over a pizza. It was just just the smallest thing. I remember we were driving to a Italian restaurant, and I'm like, okay, it's at nighttime. I can't find any parking. I'm lost. I can't observe problems, obviously. And I tell him, hey, I'm on the phone. Like, hey, man, just obviously double siding. Hey, just order the pizza. I'll pay you in cash, like right now. Like I'll literally park the car. We'll go back to our place. And I'll pay you in cash. And he was a Playlist IP. He was a Playlist IP, and he's like, yeah, whatever. And he hung up the line, and he didn't get the pizza, and he just walked over to his car and completely ignored me. I was like, what the hell is that? That that pissed off my double activated play, and I just left. I'm like, deleted socials, deleted phone number, deleted everything over a pizza. So it's too extreme.
That is extreme. Holy smokes. Um, but you said you had friends in high school, right? So what happened with those friendships?
Oh man, I was very like go-betweens. I didn't have like true friendships because the longest time I ever stayed in the school was 4 years, and even then I was very controversial in school. Like if there was ever controversies, I was in the center of it, or I was the one creating like fights or something like that. So friends and school people were like, they were trying to look out for me more than being my friend. Like, oh man, watch out. There are people who are a lot bigger than you in school. You're pretty, you're big, but there's people who are like 6'5" who can take you down. I'm 5'6".
Oh, you're the same height as me.
So like that's the thing. I'm double masculine, but I told them like everyone in my type is huge. I'm not that big. So I thought maybe it was due to puberty and things like that.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I've met some short double masculines. So, like 5'2", 5'1". It really depends where you're from, right? So, in genetics. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I guess you're getting into trouble because you want attention because you're one. Like you want like eyes on you.
Yeah, and I'd say a lot of like SF controversial things to get the reaction out of people, but like they were, but it was like a double masculine. Like I was trying to get them like aggressive anger. Like I'd try to get them like, oh, what the hell's this? Oh, I don't like burgers or something like that. I'm 15, I'm immature, but and then it would create uproar like that. You just kind of you're trolling people at the same time, but you're making them pissed off almost.
Yeah.
Like there's a big trolling energy there.
Right. Because you're still an EP, so you're still a troll at the end of the day. And
Yeah,
yeah. And then you're trying to get an emotional reaction out of people to self-amuse yourself.
yeah. TI amusing. The difference from FI amusing.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, TI is the TI amusing, but the FE is the tool being used to get the reaction out of someone.
Yeah,
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 yeah. Okay.
definitely.
And then, so I guess so you said you're a go-between, so I guess you didn't really develop any real friendship, and then now you're in university, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. And because I mean, I went to the first university, didn't like it, and then switched. So now I'm in this one.
Okay. And then is friendship still difficult for you since moving there?
Oh no, the people there are more down to earth in this university because it's not in the city. It's more near the suburban areas. So I feel like people there are more relaxed. So I have no problem striking a conversation with anyone. And
Okay.
with play, I'm like, hey, let's do some event. You want to go somewhere? Let's do it. You want to go to a restaurant?
Okay. So my next question is, do you want to have real friends or no?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah. But it became hard when you change countries a lot.
Yeah,
Like it
but then
became and changing.
you have a second chance now because you're in a fresh environment. So, you know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So do you want to make real friends in that university, or is your goal ultimately status, flex, attention?
Uh, there has to be balance. It's very true. If you're too flexy, you're gonna be lonely, and if you have trouble in your life, you can't really reach out to anybody because like you kicked them out of your life. You know what I mean? So you definitely need friends and definitely people you can support and they can support you. So it's very important.
From what I've seen with the social type ones who do develop real friendship, the friendship comes from someone being your frenemy. Like they have to be your rival, and they are either on par with you where you're taking turns beating each other, or they're actually even better than you, like slightly better than you. Not to the point where you can't ever beat them, but maybe they beat you a little bit more than you beat them. Like a real frenemy. Have you met someone that you have seen that could be your rival? You know?
Like that same guy with the pizza, we used to do bodybuilding together.
Yeah.
Um, so we what we'd do, we'd work out, we'd challenge each other after the workout, and then would go to barbecue. We'd have a barbecue at either my place or his place. And then that's when I'm like, oh, I'm a type 4. We go to barbecues. Well, no, no, no. The barbecue has an intention. You eat the protein to get bigger in the gym. You know what I mean? So, so everything you do is almost like a benefit. Like, oh yeah, we're friends. We're going to improve, and we're also going to benefit in this one direction.
Yeah.
So it's a symbiotic relationship, but it's a relationship that there's a goal. It's a directed goal. It's like, whereas the force, we're just friends. You know, we don't need a goal. We're just together. You know.
Right. I mean, it's like kind of like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. Like they're really good friends now, but they used to hate each other, right? You know, because they were
We
action
were kind of
stars.
like that, yeah.
Yeah, they're both action stars and trying to like one up each other. Who has like the bigger box office hit, you know, and whatnot, and who has the bigger muscle, the bigger guns. You know, they had interviews about that, right? Their competition.
Yeah.
You know, but Arnold actually he made a lot of friends because like he's following kind of what Dave says in my previous interview with him, where keep your friends close but your enemies closer. So he purposely worked that with all the people that he competed with, you know, just so that in the stage he knows how to beat them, and he did beat all of them, right? You know, so have you thought of like doing that where like you keep your competition as like kind of like close to you as like a friend, you know? Uh,
Yeah, I have to examine them. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think he's my type twin because he went to the same school as me. He did soccer before me, and he's the same age, and even that chose to do bodybuilding at the same time. I'm even looking at him. He's way further than me in the bodybuilding journey. And I'm looking at exactly what he's doing to train, exactly his training methods. I'm looking at what he's eating. I'm looking for his pitfalls right now. He's competing in 16 days, a natural bodybuilding. He's my age, everything. He looks very similar. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna blow this guy out of the water. He's not gonna in 2 years' time when I have because right now I'm down in the ditch. My health is like messed up,
yeah.
but the summer's close. So when I start to come up, I'm going to hit him where he's not hitting himself. I'm going to, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna where his deficits are. I'm going to be very strong there.
You have a big weakness though, dude. Your sleep lasts, so your recovery is gonna be shit, right? Like,
Very, very honestly, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So that's why I have to be very in on nutrition, very in on sleep. That's the thing of what I liked about gym because I'm very our types are very undisciplined. But when you're in the gym, it's like okay, the optimum amount of sleep you should be getting is 9 hours. So it
right,
forces you to okay, you got to go to bed early. That it forces that time block 9 hours. You got to sleep. You got to be eating these good foods to get the muscles. So it disciplines you in if you want to do well in something, you can't just change one thing. You got to change everything around it to be very good at it.
right. Yeah, I know. LeBron James sleeps like 11 hours a day. You know, like that's how he's like 40 and he's still like shoot getting like 25 points a night. You know, still playing like you know not the best anymore, but still top 10, top 20 in the league, right? You know, at 40.
Yeah, sleep makes you age. You slow. It ages you slow.
Yeah, sleep lasts fucks you up, right? So you definitely need to have like you know LeBron just sleeping 11 hours. That Brian Johnson guy, have you looked at his routine to makes himself live the longest?
Brian Johnson. Oh yeah, the TISI guy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That
yeah,
guy's
yeah.
all in. I want to do what he does, but it's just too much.
Yeah, you don't have to do everything. He's a little bit crazy, but like I think if you took aspects of it, I think you would definitely like upgrade really hard, you know, because he's like you know, he measures everything about health, right? So um, you know,
But yeah, in my family, it's hard as well because my mom's a type 1, sleep last, I think, as well. And my dad's a social type 2. So they're both workaholics. So
oh shit,
if I tell them, hey, man, I think, hey, mom and dad, I think I need to take a break. My body's kind of screaming for help. I'm unable to sleep. And my heart beats hurting. I can't even drive properly. I
yeah,
think I need to take some time off. Nope. If you take some time off, you're a failure. And as well, it'll like you'll get used to being lazy for the rest of your life. But I know I'm a type 1. My competitive drive will never leave me. So if I take 1 year off from university and collect the government help for youth allowance, I can literally just keep training, focus on recovery, and then go back out into the arena.
yeah. I mean, but you could also say, oh, but look at LeBron James. He sleeps 11 hours a day and he's the best. So, you know,
Do the DE, yeah, yeah. Just like oh, that guy does it, and that guy does, yeah, yeah, definitely.
there's like concrete proof that hey, you know, this number one drive and killing your health, you're not gonna win in the end. You're gonna lose, you know. So
Man, yeah. I had a problem as well because I had no time to sleep or eat
yeah,
about 2 months ago, and I'd get in the car and I'd drive, and while I was driving, I had to go to university. the world is going on its side. Like I'm like I can't even see straight, and I'm like I
What
can't
the
even
fuck,
time
man?
when I can't even time when I'm pressing the brakes.
Yeah.
And I remember I was driving and there's a zebra crossing and there's a lady walking with her kids and I mistimed the brake and I'm like the lady ran in front of her kids to shield them to protect like them if I was going to run over them. So I was like, I have a problem here.
Yeah,
this is not
dude.
like a. It's very serious. It's like people's lives are in danger because of my sleep loss.
Yeah, dude, that's a wake up call. If anything, I
It
would change a lot of
was
my habits after that. That's scary, man. If you kill someone, that is messed up, you know.
by accident. Yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, that's when I'm like, okay, I have a problem. I have a problem.
Yeah. Yes,
And that was like yeah, that was 5 months ago, and I'm still trying to work on it.
yeah, that's
Oh
interesting
man.
though that you have a number one and two parent. That's intense, man. That is an intense combo.
But my dad's type 2, but he's an EJ. He's a double feminine EJ, so it kind of works itself out there.
Oh, you mean the EJ nest remove some of the drive, you mean?
Yeah, he can balance with the type 2 and being friends. I think he's definitely he's a type 2, yeah.
And then your
Because
mom's a
he just
one?
does not. Yeah, always. It's like her identity to be the best. I'll prove everyone wrong. No one can tell me otherwise. Um, she has like fake enemies. Like, who are these people? Like, they betrayed you. Yeah, I want to prove them. No, they just. I think they're both. I'm not sure if they're both deciders. Maybe I have no idea.
Yeah.
They're like, what? Every time I go in public, they're like, "Oh, you're embarrassing." Like, that's not real. Like, embarrassing. I embarrass myself all the time in public. So I never thought that the problems were real growing up.
Is your mom a decider, number one?
I think so. I think so because like she uses the word embarrassed a lot. It could be. I'm not good at typing. I've never typed anyone, but
Sure.
they use a lot of the word like embarrass. Definitely, if I use the word stupid for my dad, that's when he gets really angry. Like that's when he's like, I'm gonna come at you. But except because he's double feminine, when he hits you, he's like this. It's like a very. It's like punch me, will you? Choke me out, something.
Yeah, your mom's the aggressive one, your dad's the chill one, eh? That's kind of interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So your mom's
I'm
more
definitely
scared than your
aggressive.
dad. Your mom's more scared than your dad then.
Yeah, yeah.
It
My
sounds like
mum's a double. I think she won. I think one time my mum threw a bloody PC. Like she grabbed an entire PC, threw it, and it made a dent on the floor.
oh, your mom's like double
Definitely,
masculine.
I think so. Yeah, that's probably where I got it from.
Yeah. That's funny. Do you have siblings?
A sister, yeah,
Older or younger?
younger. She's 18.
Oh,
I'm
I see.
20.
Oh, I see. And then is your sister, would you say she's also one or two or something like that or no?
I'm not sure. She has friends. She's definitely kept a lot of friends in her circle,
Okay.
and she's kept them since like seventh grade. Me, I'm like, all right, I'm done with school. I'm cutting everyone off. Like it was just very
Oh,
quickly.
okay. So she's either a two or a four then, like one of those two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
two definitely because she works very hard. I think during when she was in the 12th grade, so senior year, she
Yeah.
was staying up until 4 or 5 working.
Oh,
I couldn't do that.
she's probably sleep lost also.
She had to, yeah, she was abusing caffeine for that entire year, and but I definitely she's definitely a little bit more calmer, I'd say.
Oh, I see. Okay. Maybe she's like one of those like it could be like a maybe like a play consume sleep blast, I mean blast sleep, there's like a it's not like fully all in, because you're consume play blast sleep, right? So the play and blast is together. So there's like a crackhead energy in there.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I'm the loudest guy in the room sometimes. Sometimes, not all the time.
Um, okay. Yeah, that's an interesting thing. It sounds like your mom probably sounds like your mom's like an ISFP or something, and then your dad's probably like an ESFJ or ENFJ or something, and then like yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, because embarrassed, like that sounds like like an FI kind of word. Like you're embarrassing me, you're making me look bad, like,
No, even the EJs. I have an EJ friend. He's completely DE. He uses the word embarrassed when I'm with him. The
okay.
EJs use it a lot as well because we were at a restaurant and because I'm a consumer, like going to a restaurant's like the highlight of my life. I love it, especially all you can eat. So I was like, yeah, yelling really loud. It's like, bro, calm down, relax. My EJ friend's like, relax, calm down. So he's like, you're embarrassing me. I was like, embarrassed? That's not real. It's like cool story, man. You're embarrassed. That's whatever. Everyone gets embarrassed.
Oh, I guess your SF play sees a spectrum of like what is acceptable. So there is like a certain level of obnoxiousness that's okay, and like that's kind of what you're.
Yeah,
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 yeah, because then you're just like the loud guy, in the spectrum, which is kind of acceptable. There's always like a loud guy in every group, right? So that's like you, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Always loud.
What about your middles? So your middles are more balanced then, right? You have generalists or broad responsibility, and then specialists, right, as your third. So that's more balanced. Can you share a bit of the balance in the middle, where like you can specialize if you need to, but then you can like have the broad responsibility if you need to, and you can kind of like go in between. Uh, your first animal
Yeah,
is consume, right? So that's um broad responsibility. So you're slightly leaning towards broad responsibility than specialization, but you have them in your first three, so they're both activated.
yeah. I mean, like yeah, it's very almost like if you want to have TI, you got to do FE. If you want to do FE, you got to have TI. So it's almost the same thing like that. If you want to specialize, you first got to look at the spectrum,
Yeah.
SC obviously, but you got to so you got to generalize and then specialize, really, because if you specialize too early, you're gonna screw up. I think that's my SE talking. I think that's my EP talk.
No, but it's true though. Like, I mean, that is you do need to do that. Otherwise, you're gonna fuck yourself and you're gonna shoot yourself in the foot, especially as a number one, because like like the only time I see number ones lose usually, like the number one most common way a number one would lose and not be if not the best, at least one of the top the top players in the arena, right? Is they went in the wrong arena to begin with. Like
Yeah.
you don't have talent in this thing, and then maybe you're like an IJ number one, and then you're like, oh, first thing that came to my box, I'll take it. And then you're like, and they're losing, and it's like, maybe you should have explored first. You don't have talent in this place, like
I watched one of your older videos with one of the guys also in the UAE, Tarek, the INTJ, and I remember he was like, he's like, yeah, I got married really young, and even Dave got married really young. I was like, what the hell are you doing? You just narrowed down too early. Like, yeah, just married the first one I saw. Just whatever's closest to my box, I'll just take it in. What the
yeah,
hell are you doing? But
yeah.
yeah, I find it very funny. Like, what? I mean, you gotta speak to like at least 10 of them or maybe 20 of them and see, okay, which one you're most compatible with then. But yeah, you're fine. Come here. It's like that. It's almost like that type of energy.
Yeah, that only works if you get lucky. I mean, luck does play a role. I mean, Dave did not get lucky. That's why he got divorced, right? Like Dave said his first wife was an INFP double masculine, so it obviously wasn't the right fit. They're both DIs first to begin with. So and then yeah, and he had to meet Shan, right? Obviously for him to find the right one. And then but Lijo got lucky. Lijo is Lindsay, she's an INTJ, and she married an ENFP, and he's MF, she's FM. So worked out. He's consumed last. She's sorry. She's consumed last. The partner is blast last. So you can get lucky sometimes, with the right pairing.
Yeah, it's very interesting how like even with Dave and Shan, they're the complete opposites. Like it's amazing how like even though most people in general don't know this OPS stuff, but they look, and they select the type that's exactly the opposite by
Yeah.
coincidence. Or it feels like it's coincidence, but it feels like there's something neurological happening there, where like they're just selecting the exact opposites without even knowing.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's also like, I mean, you can be close enough and it's still good, right? Like me and my girlfriend, I'm an ENFP, my girlfriend's an INTJ. Like, how did that happen? And then I'm play blast, consume sleep. She's sleep consume, play blast. So it's like, you know, opposites in the extroverts and stuff. The one thing that we do have in common is masculine FI. So that part, there's the head butting for sure. But the feminine sensory and masculine sensory are opposite, right? But then if you look at the two, I'm double feminine first animal. She's double masculine first. Double masculine sleep for her, double feminine play for me, right? So, so it does happen, for sure. So like I guess for you,
Yeah.
if you meet like the perfect girl for you would be like an IJ then, like you know, like an INFJ probably, right? Like
Well, I think my exact opposite is like a double feminine ENFJ play last. That's a very weird one. Play last EJ. That's strange.
really, I think it would be an IJ, dude, because it would be like a blast sleep, um consume play.
Because like because typically observers go with deciders, like in relationships. Like typically, if there's two observers, they're both gonna have think problems. They're gonna screw over that, and that kind of like both of them are gonna struggle with maps, parking lots, and
I don't know about that. I'm with a observer, it's fine. We've been together for 12 years, so it's almost 12 years. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think yeah, I guess if you want to make everything 100% opposite, because EP's opposite is IJ's, right? But like I guess if you want to make the decider the opposite, then I guess that makes sense. EJ would be your opposite then, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um yeah. Like I guess like a playlist EJ, you know?
Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah.
Not many of them come in the typing.
Yeah, and then it has to be like an ESTJ then, an ESTJ play last. Like that's your complete opposite. Like nothing in common at all. Like TE and TI, to your TI, and then they have NE instead of NI, so complete opposite. So it's like it would be like an ESTJ, right? Yeah, maybe, or ESFJ maybe, something like that. Yeah. You, you know
Yeah.
you know who's a play last ESTJ is Brock Lesnar. So maybe your future wife's Brock Lesnar. Just kidding. I'm just joking.
I've always, I've actually wanted to be Brock Lesnar. Like I've always wanted to be like the 6'4", because like he's double masculine as well.
Yeah.
It's like being a double masculine and 5'6" is like, come on. I just want to be like a huge. I want to be like what's the really massive guy, Eddie Hall, or like the
Yeah,
really
yeah.
huge guys. Yeah,
Oh,
I just want to be like a bull. I want to be a bulldozer, but I'm 5'6". So I get called cute when I'm in school. Like, don't call me that. I want to be destructive. Why are you calling me cute?
yeah. Unfortunately, your DNA has betrayed you in this area.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar's. I think he's played last. He seems like to be a number three though. He doesn't seem to be a number one. Because I
Yeah,
watched.
hides out in the woods.
Yeah, because I watched his interview. He's like, I want to clock in, clock out. I'm like, oh, that's a number three. Like he doesn't care to like
Yeah,
stand out. Like a number one would, right? Like there's still the flex, but it's not like number one flex. Um, so, all right, dude. We're gonna wrap up the interview soon. Last two things I want to cover before we finish the interview. The first one is because you do have this platform right now to do as we're doing our interview. What do you want people to know about you? Like, what do you think? Like, how are you misunderstood? Do you feel like, and how would you like to clear that up? Where like, this is how you want to be seen. Like, this is the real you, and this is how.
damn. Sorry, I was just thinking about it. That's really damn. That's so hard to think about.
You
That's a
probably
tough
feel
one because
you probably feel misunderstood. Like that's what I'm getting from you. You probably feel misunderstood a lot. Uh,
yeah, especially because I went through a lot of hard times, like changing countries a lot of the times, and all
right.
my grandparents are dead. People, it's like especially because I'm young, a lot of people had a hard time understanding, like, oh, like when I tell them like, life is kind of about making yourself immune to all the problems in your life. They're just like, what the hell's this guy talking about? So as a type one as well, so I felt like you can't really relate to people as well. And people it's very strange because sometimes I flicker in between being double masculine and then I relate sometimes. I thought I was visual or double feminine, so I thought, man, this is really weird. So when I got my type double masculine, I was like, what the hell? So definitely a lot of like I saw myself as feminine. I had no idea I was double masculine. But even though I'm smashing people all day long and threatening to shove people back up their mum or something like that, very aggressive. So
Yeah. Yeah.
people, I remember in school, everyone said, "Man, you're really confident." We had to in our camp. They said, "What's something? Write something very positive about your peers." And everyone said, "You're really confident." Confident. I'm like, "What the hell? I'm not confident. I'm actually very uncertain. I'm very like I have no idea what the hell my future is gonna look like. I have no idea what I'm gonna do about it, and it feels like it's never gonna end. It feels like yeah, things like that because it feels like my SC just doesn't want to shut off.
Yeah.
So it feels like I'll never get a routine where my life is going like upwards slowly. It does. It does. It feels like I'm doing this. Like it's a sine wave almost. So I kind of want like a steady upward inflection kind of.
So is that what you want people to know about you? Like how you're, misunderstood? Like you're not as confident as you.
Yeah,
Is,
yeah, not as confident as other because I definitely feel a lot of people because I tell people some people when they're insecure they become a lot quieter, but some people when they get insecure they become a lot louder, and that's I think one of those people when they become insecure they become really loud.
so that's you then. That you become louder when you become insecure.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And what was funny is the last thing before we go, like even the my type twins, I looked at my type before I got my type from OPS. I looked at my type like okay, what the hell? I'm glad I'm not this type. I'm so glad I'm not Bam Margera. He's a drug addict. He's drinking. He's just in and out of what's it called? Rehab. It's like, and I look at Donald Trump and I look at everyone else. And I was like, glad I'm not this type. 3 days later, I'm this type. Are you kidding me, man? It's like
All
I'm the
right.
exact type.
You're Donald Trump.
I'm Donald Trump, man. And I don't look like Donald Trump now, but I remember a couple days I looked at old photos of a kid. Like I looked uncanny to Donald Trump. Like shit, I look like Donald Trump. I look like Barron Trump. I look like his kid almost.
Oh, okay. That's funny.
So I kind of I look like different versions of my type throughout my lifespan. It's like as a kid I look like Donald Trump. Now I kind of look like Bam Margera. I kind of I look different almost.
Yeah.
So
Um,
definitely I definitely see a lot of Trump in there.
so it sounds like you need to show people your double feminine side then. You need to show people your double feminine anti-sleep, the insecure side. And I bring it up because I was talking to someone a few days ago in like an interview, and we're talking about weaknesses. I think the person I was talking to was also a number one. It was the woman. It was the woman from Rwanda, the one with the bald head, you know. Um, and when we were talking, I said to her, um, when you're hiding something, that's a weakness that someone can exploit in the future, you know. But if you show it out and you get a practice getting your weakness exposed, um, then you don't have a weakness because there's nothing hidden. You're not the moment you hide something, you have a weakness, right? Have you seen the movie 8 Mile with Eminem?
Oh, I know what I haven't seen the movie, but I know what Eminem. He's in a rap battle and he's explaining to him. He's roasting himself in a way that he's untouchable in a way. It's kind of like he's going the opposite direction. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, he did double deciding in his rap battle because like he used everything the other guy was gonna use on him. Like he's like, I am a trailer trash. I do live with my mom, blah blah. He said all the stuff that guy was gonna say, and then when it was the other guy's turn to roast him, he couldn't say anything because Eminem already made fun of
There's not.
himself, right?
He got there before the other guy did.
Yeah, yeah. And the guy's like, it's like and then that his mic drop was like, tell them something that I already haven't said about myself or something like that, and he mic dropped, right? And the guy was like, he choked, right? Like no, it's nothing. There
Yeah,
was
he
no
exposed himself. Yeah.
There's no diss because he revealed all his weakness right from the get go, right? And then afterwards he said something about the other guy the other guy was hiding. Like the guy, he's like, "You're a gangster. Your name's Clarence. How is that a gangster?" You went to a
Yeah.
private school. He's like, people probably doesn't know about that. And then it's like, oh, he lost his street cred, right? At that moment, right? So that's why when I said when I thought about that, um, Eminem's a number three, right? And the guy he's battling is the number one. The archetypal role that he was playing in the movie. So I was thinking, I'm like, oh, the number three will crush you. If they're self-aware, and if the number three is like, I've showed all my weakness. I have no weakness. I've showed it everything already. You know. So I feel like for you, if you showed your double feminine card openly to people, like, and it's gonna be hard for you because it's like NT. So you're gonna be like, oh, I'm bad at figuring things out because I'm very
Yeah.
unsure. I'm very unsure, right? Or with a TI, you have to make fun of yourself because sometimes I feel really stupid, because it's feminine, right? So like you have to say all the stuff. It's like sometimes like you're like, I can't predict the future. I'm really scared of the future, like it's like the NI, right? So like you have to reveal all that stuff, you know. How do you feel about that?
Yeah.
Knowing that you have to reveal that to get rid of any weakness.
No problem. In fact, people have complained I'm an oversharer because like I'm SC. Just yeah, shit. Just here's all information about me. It doesn't matter. Here, do what you want
Really?
with it. So
You
yeah, I'm just sharing people.
That's funny,
I
man.
tell people everything. People are like, mate, I don't want to know that about you. Please just keep. Like a lot of people are like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
especially like in the sauna and because I train in the gym in the leisure center. I go into the sauna and like, bro, just keep the sauna room chats PG. Just don't tell us about this sort of stuff.
I see. That's funny. That's interesting.
It's so yeah, definitely as a type one. The thing is, I had to learn how to make fun of myself because I couldn't take a joke. Even in school, like the smallest thing, I'll make it like the smallest joke to me. It's like, yep, death threats. It was just too extreme. And then that's when COVID processing hit. When I was COVID lockdown hit for 12 weeks, and then I'm like, that's when I put everything together. When I had no contact with any of my friends, we were like online learning, and I'm like, okay, maybe it's me. And then I'm like, crap, I'm the guy who's aggressive. That's when I realized it.
Right.
That's kind of when I calmed down a little bit.
That's really good, man. I'm glad that you figured this out at such a young age. This is definitely like dude, you're gonna be ahead of your peers in the future just because of you're aware of your weakness and you've done some of the hard work already.
But I'm kind of lazy. Like I'm living with my parents. I'm 20. A lot of people like Dave moved out at 18. He was out of there. Yeah, he had it hard.
Yeah, I didn't move out till I was 28, so and then I had it hard after that. So, it's fine. But yeah, okay, cool, dude. Okay, before we wrap this up, do you have any last minute questions for me before we wrap up this interview?
I think I answered a lot of questions. I think I also asked a lot of questions as well.
Okay, all right, we'll wrap it up here then. All right, thanks, dude, for reaching out, sharing more about yourself.
Not easy. Happy to be a data point about the my type.
Yeah, number one ESTP double masculine. That's a good one for sure. Yeah.
Man, it's a funny type, man. If Dave said it, like if my type has a potential to go very very wrong or very very right, so really pick which way you want to go.
Yeah.
It's like there's no in between. My type will either go like what happened to you, man, or we somehow we have to go down in the deep end and figure it out.
The biggest losers are number one, just like the biggest winners are number one. So it's a really big double-edged sword. You have to be careful, dude. The pathway, the NI pathway that you choose. Okay.
And that's why I'm terrified to take a break. I know I need it, but it's like okay, if I take a break, not forever, not forever.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
definitely.
Take care, man.
Pleasure talking. I've had the best interview ever. First one's the best one. That's how it works.
Yeah.
All right. Cheers.